y'all. 7 with Pat Simmons. 7 trending topics you're probably thinking about today from my unique perspective. On today's show, the bill season's probably doomed. Orange Crush won't work with President Kenya on the shutdown or the debt ceiling. And not for nothing, but Greece is headed to the Supreme Courts. 7 with Pat Simmons begins now.
Number 1.
Orange Crush, a.k.a. the Oompa Loompa, a.k.a. John Boehner, spent the weekend yelling at the press. Here's what he had to say.
There's no way we're going to pass when the votes are not in the House to pass a clean debt limit. And the president is risking default by not having a conversation with us.
In response to this, Gonzo, a.k.a. Chuck Schumer, said this.
We have just about every Democrat. 21 Republicans have publicly said they would. There are many more Republicans who have said that they privately would. So, Speaker Boehner, just vote. Put it on the floor and let's see if you're right.
So who's telling the truth? Well, if you believe Fox News, apparently everyone believes the Democrats. Because 59% of people blame the Republicans for this mess. Not my words, that's an actual poll. It's the usual. The Republicans want to cut everything and the Democrats want to keep everything. Somewhere in the middle you have to come to a compromise. And in reality, neither side is wrong. The Democrats need Obamacare to go through because the healthcare system is bullcrap. And the Republicans are right, they need to cut spending because we can't keep borrowing the world. So as I've asked before, and I'll continue to ask, why aren't we talking about cutting military spending? We spend over $600 billion a year in just that. Granted, things like Social Security, healthcare, welfare, and all that stuff does cost us a whole ton of money. But those are programs that actually help people. They may be flawed and need some auditing, but no one will ever talk about cutting military expenses. End all the wars, close useless military bases, and focus on streamlining the process. A little bit more laissez-faire economics. A little less put our nose in everyone else's bullshit.
Number 2.
So pretty much the bill season's over. Not trying to play doom and gloom here, but let's be realistic with ourselves. Some guy coming off the practice squad, i.e. Thad Lewis, is not going to save our season for the next 4 to 8 weeks while E.J. Manuel is out with a knee injury. I'm not talking down to Big Bad Thad. In the one start he's had, he played pretty well against the best defense at the time in the NFL. And he technically has a lot more experience than Jeff Toole and the guy they were thinking about bringing in, Pat White. But it's probably time that we temper our expectations. This was supposed to be a rebuilding year, not a go to the playoff year. It disappoints me too. I've been waiting my entire adult life to see this team make the playoffs, and that's not an exaggeration. But straight up, the Bills have gotten totally screwed over by bad luck this year. And now the only hope we really have is that the running game explodes and the defense plays absolutely lights out. And to this point, both have played pretty good, but not that good. By the way, that's 2 knee injuries in about a couple of months for E.J. Manuel? I have high hopes for him still, don't get me wrong. But if I'm the Bills, I'm starting to think about drafting another quarterback or signing someone who's capable. Quarterback is obviously the most important position on the field. You can't have enough good quarterbacks. And while I don't want to hurt E.J.'s little feelings by bringing in someone with potential, this is the NFL.
Number 3.
Not for nothing, but the town of Greece goes big time in the Supreme Courts. Some people don't want no prayer inside of town meetings there. And not for nothing, no disrespect, but they can suck on it. Prayer in town meetings and schools has been a hot subject as of late. And in about a month, the Supreme Court will take on this case involving the great town of Greece. Now, I'm not about to preach to you. I'm an atheist. But my thoughts on this might actually surprise you. Who cares? Let them pray. Granted, I think it's silly, and not because of the religious implications of it. Most people in this country are Christian. And if they're not Christian, 99% of them believe in a religion. I'm a minority. And unlike the Tea Party, I'm not trying to force my beliefs down your throat. Who am I, though, to tell you that you can't say a prayer before a town meeting? It's silly that you need Jesus there for the town meeting. I think he has better things to do than look over your budget process. Though I will say praying before a sporting match kind of makes some sense. I think as atheists and Christians, we go about these things all the wrong ways. Forcing people to stop doing what they've always done never amounts to much that's good. You just piss people off. Don't ask them to stop praying. Instead, do what minorities always insist to have. Equal opportunity and equal rights. Town board meetings I could care less about. What I care about is things like prayer in schools. In schools, honestly, if you're a Christian, you should be allowed to pray. But people who are Jewish, Muslim, atheist, or anything else shouldn't be ignored. Just like you do a Christian prayer in a circle before a football game, you should also include the other religions that are part of your team. And if you have a member that happens to be an atheist, you shouldn't shun them or look down upon them for having a different belief. My point is, in this case, tolerance should be taught. And that includes tolerance for Christians saying prayers before town meetings.
Number 4.
Yeah, I got thrown out of the bar. I don't care. I don't care about nothing. I didn't drink all you guys thrown at the table. You hear what I mean? No one can stop me from doing whatever I want. You know me. You know live my life. I'm gonna go get me some friggin' fries or something. Walk out in the middle of the street and just boom. That's what happens when you drink too much on the East End and then walk out in the middle of the street and get run over by a car. And just remember, when you're doing that, it's not the driver's fault, it's not the city's fault, it's not the police's fault, and it's not the bar's fault. It's your fault for not being responsible for yourself.
Number 5.
The guy who plays bass for Kiss is talking trash about Kurt Cobain and Amy Winehouse. Gene Simmons. He basically says that they're not icons because they only had 1 or 2 records, and that's not enough. He also said, quote, "What, just because you died that makes you an icon? No, end quote. He's not wrong on that point, by the way. He also goes on to say that since the 1980s, there hasn't been one superstar that's bigger than their music that hasn't recorded just 1 or 2 records. First of all, Dave Grohl. Second of all, Eddie Vedder. And third of all, Gene, you're a bassist for a band that's average at best. The reason people like Kiss is because they wear makeup and look like you're going to the circus. I've seen them live in concert. They're pretty average. Granted, they're old, but don't talk trash if your show isn't that good. Your entire existence is based on good marketing, which is owed some credit, but that doesn't make you a great musician, and it certainly doesn't make you Rock and Roll Hall of Fame worthy.
Number 6.
Guys aren't good at planning things. Case in point, a British man admitted to calling in a fake bomb threat on his wedding day so his bride wouldn't discover his failure to book the venue. This is why, ladies, when it comes to your dream wedding, do it all yourself. Don't put anything in the hands of your soon-to-be husband.
Number 7.
You'll never eat these again, I promise you. A recent examination of chicken nuggets from 2 different fast food chains, guess which ones, found that one contained about 50% actual meat, while the other one was only 40% real meat. What else is in them? A mixture of fat, blood vessels, nerve tissue, cartilage, bone, and cells that line the chicken's skin and internal organs. You're eating their poop nerves. Enjoy your lunch, kids.